All right, we're back. It's Dr. Anthony G. Beck.
Dr. Leland Stillman.
And today we're going to talk about doing the right thing, but in the right order.
Mm-hmm. Right? A vital concept, which is lost on so many people in our industry.
Isn't that something?
It's sad.
Now,
but it's so obvious.
Like in the hospital. Now, the first thing we do is you come in, you check in with a triage nurse, and we go straight back to X-ray.
That's right. Because everyone needs an X-ray.
That's right. Everybody needs an X-ray.
Right? Well, we can bill your insurance.
That's
so
exactly
why not?
Right, do that. No, let's stick them in the MRI machine. We'll make more money on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? No, so we don't do that. What are you going to do first? You're going to bring him in. You're going to do an exam. You're going to ask him some questions. You're going to do some stuff. And then sometimes you got to get the, there's certain things where then you got to find out their health history.
You do.
Do you have any metal implants?
Because boy, can that make the MRI go wrong.
And that's old Sparky.
Yeah.
So right, so we joke about that, but that's a really important principle.
It's a critical principle.
If you don't do the right thing in the right order, you could really mess some stuff up.
Yeah, and every single thing you've ever done in your entire life, there's been a specific order, hasn't there? Why wouldn't there be with every single thing you ever do with your health?
That's it. We're not talking about starting the evening meal with dessert.
Although we might sometimes.
What was that show that was that? Yes. Well, my appetizers sometimes are as good as dessert, but anyways. So the big principle here is understanding, and what separates balanced protocol again from every other methods out there is the emphasis on the individual, biochemical individuality being a category of one, always doing things through qualification and monitoring and measuring the patient's response, knowing where they're starting, and then as they're going through what progress they're making or not. And then always through the context of the individual. And then the other principle is this that we're talking about today is doing the right things that we found that need to apply, but in the correct order, right? So let's give you an example, real life stuff. So per the Balanced Protocols framework, we call it the 2358 framework. We're not going to get deep into that today, but you can find that over at balancedprotocol.com. It gets into all that and some of our other videos. The thing about it is that you have to realize that you want to do all the things that are supposedly on the menu for correcting your imbalance. And when we make recommendations, we all base it upon labs. We're not just going to go and, okay, it looks in the gut. That's another big thing that's out there. Everybody goes, oh, well, you have to fix the gut. All health and wellness begins in the gut. And then you have the microbiome guys. And they're talking about how amazing the microbiome is. And take these fermented foods and stuff, not knowing that fermented foods can actually wreck the gut, because you don't know where the starting point is, the patient. There's a big difference in the health of your GI if you eat, say, proteins and you have fullness, gas, bloating, distension, constipation, or diarrhea. There's a difference in if you eat oils and you have any of those symptoms. If you eat vegetables and you have any of those. So the plant-based people say, oh, no, you just need more vegetables and all the fiber that goes along with that and all the microbiome. And then you have the carnivore docs and people will say, well, you just need to eat just all meat and stop eating those plants. Those are big clues as to if you have your complaint created or even relieved by meats, fatty boluses, groups of fat, or plants. That will give you all indications of things. So that's the differentiation. But so then what everybody does is, okay, well, we need to fix your gut. So we're going to start, the order of operations is to give you presupposed supplements to treat your symptoms. Because, of course, you're going to get that recommendation from the people who are the niche pickers of gut health,
Yeah.
Or maybe SIBO or the Digestion Summit.
Oh, how about that?
There's a summit for everything. If ever you want to know when you're getting ready to be confused, lied to, and inferior practitioners, look for the word summit. And I stand by that. Okay, so that's a little jab. But the thing is this.
Right in the chops.
It is right in the chops. It's true. You'll see all the same people.
It's fact.
I call them the bubbleheads. You'll see the same experts. Oh, everything is autoimmune. And the next one is, oh, everything is keto. And, oh, everything is plant-based. And, oh, everything is,
They have a funny way of seeking out balanced protocol practitioners but not advertising us.
I know, right?
How about that?
That's pretty wild. Secret stuff there. But anyways, going after the gut first. Well, in balanced protocol, the GI is actually second in order of operations. No, you do not start with the gut. What would we start with, Doc?
How about nutritional deficiencies?
There you go. So we've got what we refer to as key number 1 as the environmental inputs, one of which is food, right? So there's air, there's water, there's light, there's sound, there's electromagnetic fields or EMF, and then, of course, food. Your gut and all the wonderful things that people out there talk about, it can be true. A lot of problems manifest in the hooter to the tutor, okay? That inner tube, we call the alimentary canal. So here's the deal. True. But you have to understand, if you haven't done the context of the individual as a category of 1, applied the Q square M square principle, and then now do the order of operations, you'll find that you're going to be chasing gut symptoms like crazy. They're going to say, but they told me if I just took these enzymes, the serrapeptidase, this nattokinase, these proteases, that I would be better.
Yeah.
If I just ate the KKK, the kombucha, the kimchi, and the kraut, that's my only way of making fun of them. You know, it's like bad.
But the kefir.
Oh, the kefir. That's right. It's all the K's. I wish they were F's so I could say it really F's up your gut, but we're going to K your gut. So anyways, those things have their place, but people say, I'm going to go because that supports a healthy gut. And I have an unhealthy gut because of my symptoms, so I'm therefore going to eat those things. And people, lo and behold, you never get the stories of, oh my God, that wrecked me. We get them all the time.
We do.
Well, I listened to so-and-so, and they said you need to just eat fermented foods.
It's just not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, no.
And it can do just as much harm as it can good, because they said you got to fix the gut first. I have been doing this for almost 30 years, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that going after the GI by treating what the symptoms are in the GI, you will find yourself wanting over and over and over again.
You will chase symptoms for a long
time. It's unbelievable. Like, you'll go through these crappy programs like, Dr. Axe's program and stuff like that.
So
it's just, it's so terrible.
That is our pure opinion.
Pure opinion.
On our experience.
And our experience.
Isn't that right, Doc?
It's a terrible, empty barrel just designed to, truth be told on that one, I'm not afraid to tell you. I mean, I was at a training event that he was hosting, and, he said from stage that his team, made it up in like a weekend.
Jeez.
So anyways.
How long did it take you to come up with Balance Protocol?
Oh, gosh. Decades. So, but here's the point, not to emphasize on that. My point is this: there's a lot of things out there, and we know it. We're not trying to raise our method up by saying other things, but we got to talk very candidly about what patients bring to this. So don't start with the gut. That's the moral of the story. You have to start with your environmental inputs. You got to how you breathe, what water and fluids you drink, your circadian rhythm and your light and hygiene, the EMFs in your environment, your body voltage and radio frequency and all this electromagnetic stuff going on. You are not going to heal the gut if you have those things in place. If you're sleeping and bathing in that, how do you expect your gut to heal?
Yeah, and we've just seen patient after patient where we were frankly surprised by what the problem ended up being. And we joke about it because it's always the last place you look. But I mean, you'll have people coming in and they change their light environment. They say, oh my gosh, my gut symptoms are better.
That's it.
Oh my gosh, I got out of that EMF disaster area that I was living in, and all of a sudden.
So now I'm sleeping better. Oh, now your body can repair, and you didn't need any of those supplements.
Exactly. And this is why we don't just jump to the supplements. And we're not here to sell you Dr. Beck and Dr. Stillman's Gut Health Starter Kit.
That's right. That's why I always laugh when my detractors, that are completely not about anything nutrition. It's all drugs and surgery, right? Mm-hmm. I can't wait till I get listed on quackwatch.com.
Yeah,
then I'll know I've really ascended. Right. I've really made it. But anyways, that it's like, oh, he's a snake oil salesman. I don't sell any of that stuff. I think it's funny, so I actually kind of like it. So keep it coming. Detractors, I love it. Every time you say that just means I got you in debate. But anyways, so the upshot is there's other things that you need to do in the order of operations. What's another one? What about the detox? You got to start with detox because, of course, all the pesticides and all the endocrine disruptors and all that stuff. You got to detox.
There's lots of toxic stuff in our environment. We don't dispute that. In fact, it's one of the main things we focus on getting rid of for patients. But people have these ideas that they're supposed to start detoxing right now.
Yeah. Because you'll hear the whole narrative. It could sell you on the idea.
Oh, it's a very attractive salesman.
Because it is true.
It's a fact.
If you want to sell your car and it's all muddy, you got to clean it up and you got to vacuum. You got to detox it.
I mean, unless you want to take a big hit on the price.
That's exactly right. Okay. But is that more, okay, what if you just did all that and then you didn't, change the oil or get the new tires or get an inspection and check the brake lines? And there's things that you need to do first that are more important.
Yeah, and I would say, honestly, of all the things that I see people doing that make them worse in their attempts to achieve wellness, it's when they say, okay, my problem must be toxins, therefore I must spend time and money and effort and detox. But they start pulling all this tissue stuff out of their tissues, or they start pushing all these things into the body. And, you told me right off the bat, the first time I asked you about binders, you said, Leland, think about all the different things that those binders are going to bind. You're going to bind sex steroid hormones. You're going to bind fatty acids. You're going to bind all these other substrates that the body may have a reason to hang on to. So what business do you have doing that without any kind of quantification of the patient's biochemistry, understanding of their environment, their lifestyle, and then talk to them about the fact that, if you're going to do some detox, it may be an unpleasant weekend. You should probably prepare them for that, and then do it at the right time in the right order of things so they're able to do it. And frankly, when we take people through detoxes when they're ready, it's not a problem.
That's it. You have to prepare it, the body, because you can't presume that, okay, great. Okay, so this is what happened. Let's put it to the test. So well, doc, we've Q squared, M squared, we balanced protocol. We found that we have some heavy metals and different toxins and stuff like that. But then you'll also, we also take a look at some of the antioxidants the body uses, like glutathione and lipid peroxidase, and some of these levels we would understand. We go, that's great and all, yet we found that you have this excess of lead, mercury, cadmium, or whatever. But here's the problem. When you start to detox a patient or yourself, you are presuming that your body has the ability to take those chemicals that are stored in fats and lipids that have been sequestered for your own protection.
For your own protection. The body's got a divine intelligence that does that.
It does. To now break that out of there, bring it into circulation, force it upon your liver, which will then inevitably dump it to the kidney to urinate, or to your bowels to put it out that way. And so that's the problem with detoxification. I really don't even care for the term because there's really no such thing, but we use it just because the thing is more biotransformation. Your body has to turn things from certain molecules into other molecules to get rid of it. So detoxification is a useful term, but there's a lot more to it. And there's actually 4 phases of detoxification. There's phase 0, 1, 2, and 3, but we won't get into that. Most people think there's only phase 1 and 2. But here's the deal. You got to realize that you're assuming that your body can handle it. And most of the time you can't. So never start with detoxification as an approach to start getting well.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that comes out on the nutritional testing and the heavy metals testing that we do, and that really struck me when I first started bringing people through Balanced Protocol, which was that sometimes you've got a total body deficiency of magnesium, but it's not the first thing that you need to go after.
That's right.
In fact, the rate limiting problem, or the first thing you got to do, is add some potassium or add some copper.
You got it.
And you find out that there's all these other things in the system. That's why we monitor. That's why we will do serial measurements in order to figure out where you're at. And that's why it sometimes takes us 2 or 3 lab draws, particularly on the complicated cases, to get people the results that they want.
Yep. That's a perfect example of order of operations. So there's a subcategory of order of operations. Like, okay, now we need to replace the minerals. We found that these are imbalanced. These are all deficient.
Yep.
You don't just go, okay, well, boom, and you listen to all the TikTok videos and go say, hey, magnesium is needed for over 400 metabolic. Those people. I'm still waiting for the list of 400 metabolic things. But the thing is it's like then you start driving in magnesium. Well, it depends upon there's other nutrient systems in the body that if you start driving magnesium into, you're going to create imbalances because you're taking therapeutic doses most likely.
Presumably, yeah.
Presumably. So even when you put in the things that in the patient's case that you know that you have determined through labs, you know where they're at and that they need to be replaced, you just don't hit them with everything in a shotgun approach.
Yeah.
Because you're asking for a lot of bioelectrical changes in chemistry in the body, metabolic pathways, because not all the minerals behave well with each other. And you can't stick them in at the same time.
And they affect other pathways. So they're going to affect how you're moving proteins and fats and carbohydrates. And this explains why so many people will come to us and they'll say, I don't know why, but this one time when I took magnesium or something, it really knocked me out.
Yeah, and everybody goes, well, but Sally said, and it was amazing for her. And even in doc, what's wrong with me?
And this is why we don't play around with tiny nutrient panels. We do the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Do not ask us to drive the Civic. We're going to drive the Cadillac or the E-Series.
Yeah. Nice. So what happens is people go and they say, well, okay, well, I tested my magnesium levels. Well, what? Blood magnesium? serum, or do we look at red blood cell magnesium, or do you take a look at in the hair?
Yeah.
Each of the sources of the level of said nutrient tell a different tale.
Yeah.
But you have to interpret them through how they play with all these other ones.
And this gets back to, Q squared, M squared, qualify, quantify.
Yep.
If you're not qualifying what you're measuring, where it is, what it means, it's pointless.
It really doesn't give you the answers that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. So that's today's message in today's video, because we want you to understand that you can do a lot of correct things. There's a lot of techniques and protocols and approaches out there that even the niche pickers know, okay? However, what they're missing is the context of you, backing up and substantiating with proper labs and assessments ongoing, taking it into broad consideration of multiple systems of biology, and last but not least, the intervention needs to be applied in a proper order of operations. The great news is Balance Protocol provides that order of operations through the method that we use. So at the end of the day, that makes all the difference in the world if you're getting resolution of your health complaints or freeing yourself up of symptoms. Is we unfortunately have to have a very complicated and convoluted message. It's not as simple.
I prefer the word sophisticated.
Okay, sophisticated. It's very sophisticated.
It is, though.
It is. It really is. That's,
if you want simple.
Yeah, it's not. I'm here to tell you. No, it's step by step. It's easy to follow. There's principles, but it takes long.
We'll simplify it for you.
Correct. Yeah, that's the cool thing of working with a Balance Protocol practitioner.
Right.
So we hope this makes sense for you guys. And at the end of the day, the big message is you can do the right thing, but you got to do it in the right, proper order of operations. There is a framework that we follow.
Just like everything else in your life.
That's it, and it makes all the difference. When you do, man, amazing things happen, and we're going to invite you to continue to follow us and things like that. And we're going to teach you how to do that and issue you some invites to get some help in order to help you achieve that. All right. So next time, live life in balance, and we'll see you again real soon.